Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. So in this talk, I'm going to cover off Flexera's SLO journey from doing things ourselves to NOBL9. Just a bit quick about me. I'm the Senior Incident Problem and Service Level Manager for Flexera, and I've basically been building this function from scratch and expanding it ever since I joined Flexera about 4 years ago. Just for those who aren't aware of Flexera, we're a SaaS-based solution provider. Our product space is predominantly the software asset management and cloud asset management space, and we are generally considered to be the leader in our field. So why did we choose SLOs? Well, it became really obvious to us that SLAs are pretty useless for telling us what our service quality is. It really doesn't matter if your service is online 99% of the time if the service is not providing a good customer experience. So you might have had an incident during the month that didn't take the site offline, but the customer experience was so poor it might as well have been offline. And as well, SLAs just don't tell us what quality of service we're providing our customers. As a result, our engineering teams, they had no simple way of understanding the customer experience they were delivering. They had all the typical, back-end metrics and so on, but they did not have the same level of understanding of, say, how the products work and what sort of experience is being delivered as, say, the support teams who are, at the coalface and hearing feedback from customers on a daily basis. And so, we really wanted to provide not just the support teams, but the customer success managers and the account managers a visibility of how well our services are being performing, from that customer point of view. So how did we get started? So our Senior Vice President of Engineering informed me that he wanted Flexera to implement SLOs and that he had picked me to lead the project. So after a bit of panicking, I started reading up on SLOs, and then we put together a project team of SRE directors and managers. And we just decided to pick our major customer-facing applications and start off with a few relevant SLOs for each of those major services. So we put together a very basic project plan, just really small steps. So, for example, we started off with identifying those services and where we could get the metrics on how those services were performing, and then where we could aggregate them to then, underpin the SLO measurement. So what we ended up with was a dashboard in Grafana that we built ourselves based on Prometheus aggregating all of our data. And this is just a small portion of what it looked like. I'll show you a bigger picture later, but it was very numbers based. However, we did have nice red, amber, green, so we could see whether we were on track for that particular point in time for the SLOs, or otherwise. So it did have its limitations though, but I'll get into those in more detail later. So once we had our core products sorted, we then met with our other our other engineering teams and talked to them about implementing SLOs for their services that they were responsible for. And as part of the YSLO sales pitch, we felt it was really important to stress that, we were there to measure the customer experience, not replace their existing technical metrics. And we also weren't there so that, if their service targets weren't being met, we could beat them over the head. We were really clear to them that what we wanted to do was we wanted to work out, what was a good reliability target that if we meet, our customers are happy, but we're not burning, millions of dollars a day to provide that service. So we really wanted to find that balance. So, let's find out, work with product teams, etc., to work out what that service should look like, and what sort of performance that we should be delivering to provide a good customer experience. And so taking that approach, I think, really made a big difference. Teams can be reluctant when you first start talking SLOs with them if they're not familiar with them. And, I think making it clear that we weren't trying to, get to a perfect 100% reliability, and that, we were looking for that happy middle ground. I think that really reassures teams when you talk to them that, you're not trying to make their life more difficult than it needs to be. So once we had SLOs, what did we do with them? Well, one of the key outcomes was we started a problem and service level review panel that we hold on a monthly basis. And this panel is extremely inclusive, and intentionally so. We have SRE, engineering, customer success, account management, product management, quality, and customer support all represented. And the reason we do this is because it allows us to discuss issues highlighted by missed SLOs. It enables everyone to see what we're doing about issues that have been surfaced via missing SLOs, make sure that we're implementing those mitigation actions. And it also allows us to provide really good feedback from customer-facing areas like customer success and support on issues that they might be hearing about or seeing that aren't being picked up by SLOs. And then we use that feedback to actually improve our SLO coverage. So we could probably say, a pretty high percentage of our recent SLOs are a result of feedback from teams that aren't in engineering to say, hey, we think we should be measuring the customer experience in this particular area of our product. So that way, when we get queries, we can say, hey, look, the service is performing well, or no, it's not performing well, and we can talk to our customers from a position of really knowing what's going on with our products. So this is what our dashboard looked like. As you can see visually, it's starting to get pretty heavy. But even worse, it was becoming incredibly difficult to manage. We had a full CI/CD pipeline behind it. We had a dev environment where we would create the new tiles and work on them and then run through the CI/CD pipeline to push them to production. And we found that it was starting to take longer and longer to get, changes and updates made. It wasn't easy to, adjust an SLO on the fly. I'm not a developer, so I ended up having to lean on developers to actually make changes for me. And obviously, our developers are working on customer-facing features and improvements and so on. And so to take them away from that could be a challenge at times, especially when they're under the pump. So yeah, we got to the point where we realized we'd outgrown this. And luckily for us, around this time, we were approached by NOBL9. So one of our SRE directors had received an email from NOBL9, and seeing as I'm the service level manager for the organization, he forwarded that to me. And so I reached out, had a demo with NOBL9, and I was very impressed. There was only one thing that was missing to meet our requirements, and at the time, NOBL9 didn't have a service level dashboard or service health dashboard. And so I said to them, I really like your product. However, for us to be able to buy your service, you really need this service health dashboard. And so they agreed. They thought that was a really good idea. So I spent some time with their product management team showing them what we'd built and I guess telling them all the mistakes we'd made and how we felt they could do a better job. And a few months later, they came back with an MVP, and I really liked what they'd done. They'd done a great job. So next step for us was, okay, everything looks really good. Let's confirm that NOBL9 is great for us, and so we organised a proof of concept with them, and the proof of concept blew me away. We'd spent roughly a year and a half building our dashboard, and as I mentioned, it was becoming a management nightmare. we were able to migrate probably 70% of our dashboard to NOBL9 with 3 people in 1 week. And for me, that was a no-brainer. So we basically went with NOBL9, terminated our Grafana Enterprise license, and migrated everything across to NOBL9, and we've been building on it ever since. And it's not just the dashboard and the service levels that service level objectives that you can easily see and get history for that we really like. It's all the integrations around that you just can't do with a DIY platform. So we have it integrated with Teams, we have it integrated with PagerDuty for alerting when SLOs are burning through error budgets. We have quite a lot of different integrations like Datadog, AWS CloudWatch, and Prometheus, as well as we have New Relic as well. And NOBL9 just integrates seamlessly with all of those. So we're really, really happy with how easy it's been to integrate with and utilize NOBL9. So this is what our service health dashboard looks like today. As I've mentioned, one of the key things we wanted was everyone in our organization to have it from the CEO down. So everybody in their Okta apps dashboard has this NOBL9 Flexera service health dashboard tile. So everybody, when they join Flexera, automatically get it provisioned. And so they can click on that and they can come in at any time and see what is the state of our service health. It's a very powerful tool, and making it available to everyone was definitely worthwhile. So what's next for us? So we still do have some services that aren't measured by SLOs. They're either new services. For example, we built up a new Asia Pacific environment for most of our services in the last sort of 6 months, as well as there are a few others that are sort of on the fringes. So our 2023 goal is to have SLOs for all products in NOBL9, and this is a goal from our engineering head down. We also want to include security SLOs in NOBL9 as well. So we're looking at having SLOs for the severity of the vulnerabilities in our environment. So, for example, Sev1s through to Sev4s and the numbers of those. So hopefully, we'll see those numbers trend down once we start measuring them from an SLO standpoint, and go from there. One of the key things we really want to do, though, with our SLOs is delve deeper into our customer experiences. So, for example, with our IT asset management service, we're currently measuring our website experience as an average across that entire website. So, based on feedback from our support and CSMs and customers, as a whole, the website on average performs quite well, but there are sometimes parts of that website experience that, certain pages that don't always perform as well as we'd like. So we've set up SLOs for some of our key web pages within our website, and so we can now monitor the customer experience for those web pages. So, for example, our computer properties page is where an organization, say a Walmart, can see about all the information about their 400 odd thousand computer assets and software licenses attached to them in a single dash, where it requires a lot of data processing in the background to actually surface that data and then present it. So we set an SLO of say 60 seconds for that on average for that particular page. So we're going to roll that kind of deeper customer experience visualization out across more of our products. So that way we can see not just how the overall service is performing, but how more components within those services are performing. So we can actually see if there are any trouble spots within those services that we need to, provide additional, engineering input into. So thank you. That's been our journey to date, and hope you've found this presentation helpful.